To give everyone a little bit of background, my name is Leo and I head up the Golang team here at Understanding Recruitment. And I'm joined by Heneghan, who is the head of machine learning and AI. And she's also the winner of the Outstanding Advocate for Women in Tech 2023. So we are very lucky to have her here. So in terms of a stat that I'd like to open with, so the Go community is actually comprised of between 2 to 5% women. This is far worse than the industry standard, which is 15 to 20%. And the Women Who Go movement is working hard to change this with over 15 chapters from around the world, organising various Go workshops and meetups. So if I could please hand over to Teea and Alice, who would love to introduce themselves.
Hi. I'm Teea, and I'm a Golang engineer at Curve.
Afternoon or morning, I'm Alice, and I'm a co-organiser of the London chapter of Women Who Go with Teea, myself since 2019, and that was around when I started learning Go, and I'm now an engineering manager at a health tech.
Marvellous, thanks so much. And would you be happy to share, I suppose, a little bit about sort of your personal journey and what led you to becoming passionate about software engineering, particularly in the context of Golang?
Well, my dad brought a computer home when I was 4, and I was pretty much stuck in front of it ever since. And so I just started twiddling it, started programming in my teens, and it was just a natural career choice for me. I like the logical challenges of programming. It just feels like solving puzzles, and it's just fun. I don't have any great journey to talk about, but I got interested in Go when I wanted to find. I was working with PHP at the time. That was like closer to 6 years ago, and I needed to find a performant language, and I was stuck between Node.js and Go, and picked Go because it's really simple in terms of syntax. It's easy to read, easy to write. There's no like hidden catches or anything in it, and it's just fun to write Go.
Brilliant, thank you. And Alice, is there anything you'd like to share on that also?
I think my journey, I'm going to show my age, but when I was learning IT in school, it was just how to create an email address or how to kind of print something. So it wasn't particularly fun or exciting or interesting at school. So I actually did maths with actuarial at university, and in my past life, I was an investment consultant in pensions, because fun fact, a third of the UK investment industry revolves around pensions, and I really enjoyed helping pension funds make sure they had enough money to pay their pensioners. I'm a mission-driven person, but after about 10 years or so, I realised where I wasn't where I wanted to be anymore. But what I did know was that I'm good at learning, I enjoy solving problems, and that I had a mortgage. So in that Venn diagram of what am I good at, what do I enjoy, and what will pay the bills, I found engineering, and I haven't looked back since. In terms of Go, I came across it in my second role at an online fraud detection company, and we dealt with large data sets providing predictions at high speed, high volumes of web transactions, and Go was great for that. And I've loved the language ever since.
Brilliant, thanks so much.
Hello, come off mute now. So I guess I'll point this question in your direction, Teea. With the program that you're currently running, what drew you into Women Who Go? And what role are you currently playing in that at the moment?
even though Golang has a really nice community in general, like if you go to Reddit or Stack Overflow, it feels like it's less toxic than some other languages. There was still a bit of competition, and people were not uplifting of each other. They were more uplifting themselves. And I just found Women Who Go a few years ago, but I lived in Northwest England at the time, and there were no meetups. Like there was the London meetup, but it was several hours away, so it was impossible to get. But our Slack community was pretty vibrant at the time, so it was fun being able to answer questions and learn from my fellow Gopher ladies. And I got started with Women Who Go earlier this year. It was just I started our office in Curve is in London, and I needed to commute to there frequently. I live in Milton Keynes right now, so it gave like a perfect opportunity to, since I'm in London, why not go to the meetups? And I'm kind of like a helpful spirit every time, and try to overwhelm myself with the responsibilities. So it felt natural to jump in with Women Who Go to do my part with the community and make it more vibrant, supportive, friendly. And it's been a lot of fun. And it's just like we had a meetup last Wednesday or this Wednesday at Elastic, and it was just so wonderful seeing people being really excited about Golang and our community. And it's just so rewarding seeing that and being able to play a part in enabling that. So that's how I got into it, and I'm in it, and I'm still enjoying it very much.
Brilliant.
Awesome,
And
thank you.
I'll direct this next one to yourself, Alice. So, why would you say there's a pressing need for sort of communities like Women Who Go in the tech industry today? And what sort of unique value do you kind of bring to its members?
Yeah, it's a good, really, really interesting question. And I'm typically asked this question by guys, and I think it comes from a good place. It came up a few times at GoverCon where we met, and it tends to be in the context of wanting more diversity in existing community events. So why don't we just host events and groups together? Why do we do them separately? And the thing is, like many industries, not just Go, not just engineering, there is an imbalance in diversity. We have majorities and minorities, and when you're in a minority, turning up to an event where hardly anyone looks, talks, or acts like you, it can be intimidating. Imagine being in that environment and just sticking out like a sore thumb and not knowing anyone. It's really hard to relax. So the aim is to provide a space where we don't feel so other. And there are a few different diversity groups like Women Who Go into space. We're often mistaken for Women Who Code, which runs like a business and it's more focused on conferences and recruitment. But in the same way, I don't feel or believe we're competing with other diversity groups. It's not either or, whether someone attends Women Who Go or say the mixed equivalent of London Gophers. We actively plug and encourage attendance to the Gopher events, and we love that we actually get priority attendance there. So I think I've got a bit of a roundabout way of saying if we pull up to a higher mission level, the aim is really to provide kind of role models to inspire and be inspired by women, and to help those who are industry kind of feel like they belong and want to stay in the industry.
Brilliant. Thanks so much.
So I'll try and we'll try and mix these up between you so that there's not too much overwhelming questions for either. But Teea, I guess one of the questions, you were mentioning a bit there about kind of being geographically away from London and the impact of that for you in terms of getting involved with this organisation. What are the sort of insights into that geographical presence for chapters of Women Who Go, and how do these sort of organisations, chapters operate and sort of collaborate together now?
We have quite a few chapters. There's over a dozen in Americas. Um, there's chapters in every continent except for Antarctica, but that's maybe soon there too. And some of them started really being a bit quiet during COVID times because we run in-person meetups and we couldn't do that. That happened with the London meetup too, but we've really gotten it going again. And it's the biggest ones in Europe are in Paris and Berlin. And both of those are really struggling at the moment. The Berlin one has been really active before COVID. I was actually quite active there online myself, and they did a lot of hybrid meetups, so you could participate online, which was really great. But it doesn't give you that feeling of community. You're just alone in your home and watching a stream or participating, but you don't get to see people and feel like the sense of community and belonging. And all the chapters that we have are pretty much independent. There's not much interaction between us unless there's like a conference happening. Are there? We post on Slack if there's people coming from other women who go sections there, so we can meet up in person. But most of us are pretty much independent, and some of us work under GoBridge, which is like the main um, organization supporting us. And yeah, um, if you are interested in coming to a meetup or but are live too far away from one, like when I was in Northwest and the meetup was in London, there's always a possibility to start up a new one. There's a lot of resources on how to get it started, and all the organizers are from our little London meetup as well as worldwide are really keen to help. Like it's even though we're miles apart, thousands of miles apart, it's supportive and helpful, and there's guides, and it takes a lot of effort and work to get things going, but in the end it's so rewarding and just makes you feel really really warm inside being able to contribute to the community.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Teea. And I think what would be really interesting, perhaps Alice, if you'll be able to share a little bit more about how sort of Women Who Go has evolved, and how you kind of serve the sort of community.
Yeah, well, since I've joined, we've had that little thing called COVID. Here it's coming back in fashion. It's pushed us online, and we've had to adapt, like other meetups, to hosting events digitally and how we kind of serve the community. Now we're back. I think our members have really enjoyed events in real life again, and we've got hands-on workshops coming up, and I'm happy to share that we've actually started a Bring an Ally initiative. So we get a lot of guys who want to help and join. So now they're able to, if they act as an ally and bring a female friend, colleague, family member with them. We're constantly looking for creative ways to engage and serve the community. So super open to ideas to any of you guys and listeners out there.
That'd be great. If anyone's got any ideas, could sort of drop it in the comments. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. That's really cool. Are there any sort of, I guess, achievements or milestones, or stories of, like, you know, that have pinpointed for you, like great successes within the sort of Women Who Go community and timeline that you've been existing? Anything that kind of showcases that sort of that real impact, where you're seeing those things happen? I guess, Teea, I'll jump to you.
Well, one of the biggest signs that we're doing a good job is that the participation in our meetups has been growing. It was closer to 10 to 15 people maybe a year ago, and Now it's being closer to 20 to 30. There's a lot of variance, but it's people are enjoying bringing their friends, telling to their colleagues that we have this thing. Like on Wednesday, I had a colleague from my work join, and another colleague I saw at GopherCon, and it was just like people are not that aware of our meetups, and getting the word going and seeing participation numbers grow is really encouraging. And we've started moving. Originally, we were just in Meetup and Twitter, but we've been expanding to LinkedIn and Instagram with our presence. And it's just having companies being really excited about us and wanting to sponsor a space for our meetups, being in touch. And now, because of that, we have 2 workshops in the plans. One is going to be announced fairly soon once we get the venue settled for sure. But it's seeing people interact with us at meetups, wanting to do talks, and just being a part of the whole learning and sharing experience. Asking questions, like not just participating, like listening in, but actively participating in the talks, asking questions, wanting to learn, wanting to share their knowledge, and having this interaction between people who are sharing their knowledge. It's like seeing the whole community grow and become more like a whole in itself, a whole community. That's what's been pretty much the success so far. And yeah.
Amazing. And I guess what we could do is say that if anyone is interested in having a chat with you two, who is, I guess, listening or watching this, they could send you a connection request on LinkedIn or something like that, as well, just to make sure that you're having these conversations ongoing, and you can just build on that community that just seems really awesome and really strong at the moment, and it's only going to continue as tech grows. So yeah, definitely pop a connection request over.
Brilliant. And that leads sort of nicely on to the next question. So something I wanted to cover is sort of for individuals and engineers who are interested in joining Women Who Go, sort of what are the steps or pathways kind of available for them to become part of the community?
Yeah, thanks for the plug, Anna, and inviting us here. The best way is really to come to an event, and they're relatively small and intimate, and of course, everyone's super lovely. If you're still not sure, when you sign up to our meetup group, you'll get the details of our Women Who Go Slack. If you reach out to us on the London channel before an event, we can talk you through, greet you, make sure we introduce you to people you know. And then after that, spread the word, become the speaker. We have lots of first-time speakers. We'll coach and support you in any way that we can, help you kind of pick a topic and refine it. We also recently sponsored GopherCon with a stand there. It was a great way to spread the word about us. So invite us to your companies, become a sponsor just by providing us with a space to host our meetups, or invite us to your conference if your company has one. And yeah, just speak to us to find out. So Teea reached out recently, like to get involved, and I think that's how this all starts.
Brilliant. And are you doing anything with perhaps sort of schools or universities? Is that something you've done, or something that might be on the horizon moving forward?
It's a really good question. We haven't yet. We don't feel like we have quite the capacity, but there are definitely groups out there who provide the kind of curriculum for students and kind of people interested in learning to code and getting involved.
Brilliant.
Yes, and sorry, as the global Women Who Go organization, there's been like a lot of talk on us joining different platforms and being able to create interactive learning areas in those, but it's still something that's like in the pipeline and just being discussed on details, because we need some funding for that. It's not something the four of us as London organizers can easily do. So we need the whole Women Who Go and GoBridge to help us with that. But being able to educate both like people who are working in technology as well as children who are like just learning things to make it like exciting and fun. Both of those are on the table and being discussed, and hopefully sometime in the near future we'll have some kind of online workshops for just these areas.
Brilliant. Oh, that'd be great. And also, if anyone has any questions or anything like that, we've got a few minutes at the end to answer those. So please do post into the comments. That'd be wonderful. And I suppose for the both of you, it'd be really interesting, I suppose, kind of reflecting on your personal journey with Women Who Go as engineers. Is there, a significant challenge or obstacle that you've faced from your careers and kind of the valuable lessons that you've learned from overcoming it? How did this, I suppose, shape your approach to software engineering? If you want to.
There's not been that many like obstacles to overcome as just as a Golang engineer. It's more been as a software engineer in general, and just having the belief that even though something feels really intimidating or difficult, it's just code. You can do it, and that's one of the ways that Women Who Go has been a big part for me, is being able to find the kind of resources that speak to me, that are not just like, if you look at the how to learn Go from the Go main website, it's very much like it doesn't talk to beginners. It talks to people that are really into higher up on the software ladder already. So being able to find spaces like this one where I get information more on the way that I need it, and that's helpful for me, has been like a great way to overcome challenges.
Brilliant, thank you. Is there anything that stands out for you, Alice?
I think I'm going to go even further back. As a career changer, taking the leap was a big thing for me. And I have to say, the scariest thing I've ever done in my life was actually sending the resignation letter or hitting send on that email to my boss that I'm quitting and going to change career from a relatively kind of secure role, having spent 10 years getting to the position I was in, to kind of try this new thing. But I did do a lot of homework, and part of it was actually going to meetups and speaking to the people to find out what their day-to-day was like. These are the kind of people that would be in the community that I'd be working in, and everyone was so lovely. And that is actually the reason why I decided to join Women Who Go, because I really wanted to give back and kind of encourage those in the future.
Brilliant, thank you.
I just had I've got a couple of questions, but one of them, it just goes off the back of what you said, Teea, where you were saying, it's just code, you can do it. And sometimes I think there is a lot of overthinking involved in these sorts of things. What would you say, I guess, for both of you, would be the misconceptions you had about not only learning Go, but joining a group like Women Who Go, for someone who might be, I guess, nervous to get involved, or on that sort of front, maybe thinking about joining but not entirely sure? Was there anything that could come to mind on that side?
Yeah. like one of the biggest misconceptions people that are not programmers or don't have any experience with coding is that you need to be like a really like a genius or good with maths, and neither one of those is true. You like everyone, literally everyone can learn how to program and make a career out of it if they want, or just as a hobbyist. And I think that's the biggest obstacle, is just being afraid of failure and having like it's very common in the industry to have imposter syndrome. You feel like everyone else is so much smarter than you, knows what they're doing, when in fact we're all clueless at times and have no idea what we're doing. But it's just overcoming that and being able to take a chance on yourself and trying new things. Like Alice said about her career change, it's intimidating. And am I able to do this? Am I crazy for jumping into a completely different ship? But she's a success story, then that speaks for itself. And when it comes to joining our meetups, like we said before, just shoot us a message on Meetup, on any of our social platforms, and like we'll be happy to meet you and greet you, um, introduce you to other people, and make sure you don't feel left alone or unwelcome or anything like that. We welcome everyone and do our best to make it a space where everyone can feel like they belong and have a good time.
Yeah, I think similar actually. When I say I'm an engineer, a lot of, unfortunately, it tends to be women who are like, oh, that sounds very technical, I can never do that. And actually, when I was at the boot camp with a lot of other career changes, there's so many people from different backgrounds and they all brought something unique based on their own skills. So there was a nurse who's really good at communicating and talking to people. There was a photographer who's obviously keen on design, and then anytime there was a typo or a tiny error, the accountant or the lawyer would be able to spot it. And I think just it sounds easier than it can be, but if you dive in, don't be afraid to fail and reach out to people. There's a lot of people here who want to help you.
Yeah, I think just if I was being myself, I get so shy. The thought of going to a conference and having to first off be on my own and go up to people, that gives me so much anxiety. So I think it's really lovely that you think about that and say, okay, well, we'll already, you're not going to be left on your own, you'll be integrated and you can meet lots of the people already. So it's kind of less daunting. That would definitely be something for me. I know when I go to meetups, I just think, oh gosh, that's the main thing for me. So that's really cool that you think about that from the get-go. And also, obviously, for a lot of people potentially watching, what are the upcoming events that you could share so that people know kind of dates and times and what they kind of consist of? I guess Alice or Teea, either one of you.
Teea.
Well, we don't have any date set right now. We do have those 2 workshops in progress that are going to be happening this year. And we potentially have a meetup in late November, start December, like a Christmas party meetup kind of a thing. But we don't have any dates for those yet. So you'll need to join our group in Meetup and follow our socials. And we'll be posting in all of those. And we post other stuff in general, like we have the slides and of the talks of our past 2 meetups in GitHub, and the links have been posted. So it's like even if you don't join the meetup, you can still kind of feel like what's being talked about there. Are you interested in it? And yeah, but just follow us, click and subscribe.
Brilliant. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you both so much for jumping on and joining us and sharing more about Women Who Go. It's been absolutely brilliant, and I'm sure the viewers were very grateful. And it'd be wonderful for as many people as possible to get involved, kind of moving forward. So I think we've got time for perhaps a few questions or kind of final comments if anyone has any.
I see some questions posted, and I think we don't have time for those. But what I would like to say is that just reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer anything. We really like welcoming people to the meetups, participating, even if you don't come to the meetup and just have a question on how to get started. Like sharing and learning is all about like having a good community where you can do that and feel supported and welcome. That's what we really try to be.
Yeah, we have a very mixed group of people who are just starting out in their careers and have just learned to go but haven't got their first job yet, and those who have traveled to get here to try and build that network. So we'll definitely happy to carry on that conversation.
Marvelous. Awesome. Well, thank you again both so much, and look forward to the next time. I hope we can do it again soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Take
Anna.
care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.